Okay, so you will probably have these in the waiting room in the lobby from them finishing their game. Make sure you put those back in and bring your little setup box and this if you need your codes for anything. So we're going to check the codes as we go through. So I'm going to start in the hole. Hopefully they'll have left the light on. Obviously the light is there. Now, if they've pulled off one of them, you can probably just hook it back on. If they have pulled off more than one, in your reset pot, you'll see this key that says staff final gate. That is the master key for staff. So you can undo that, open it out, obviously take your key out of the lock, climb in, excuse my bum, and hang it up. I'm going to try and hang them all so that, come in a bit, I'm going to try and hang them all so that you can't see the key behind the key rings, just because it's a small key. Okay, so when they're all in, shut this back up, chain around somewhere near the middle so that they don't force it open, and then we just put the padlock back through, push on it, make sure it's locked. So that's done. The hook can then go back on the hook. Here, obviously we have the gold medal, make sure it's got the key on it. Hang that up so that the key is visible. And then this obviously goes back on. You know this is the right key, right padlock for this because it's very, very gold coloured. It's like a nasty gold colour. Okay. Then we turn the light off. So I'm trying to shut the door. You'll see if the mag lock is not set, the door won't close. Really important this is closed. Push your button, you'll hear it click, and that's locked. That is how that then stays locked. So we're going to close that up. Make sure to put your key back in here. Close that up, and then you'll find this. This is the other gold one, but it has the security 30mm on, so you know that's this lock. Put that on, make sure that's done up. This then goes back in the briefcase. I like to put it in the pocket with the silver medal. Obviously we're working backwards here because it's the easiest way to make sure that you've got it in the right direction. Close this, make sure you scramble, give it a test. This goes back in here. You can either have it standing up, lying down, whichever you prefer. Close this back up. This is the direction lock. If this has been closed, refer back to this, it's at the bottom, or you can listen to the tape and do it yourself. So we lock it up. Doesn't really need to be scrambled, this one, because it starts with a double rotation anyway. So these obviously open to the briefcase. They'll be around here somewhere. We're going to put the big number on the left, a small number on the right, so they go back on there. While you're there, you can kind of tidy that up a little bit. Next we're going to be wanting to put this back in. It's possible that they've put it back in the book. Touch and open. It's a good time to give this a check, just because we've been having some problems with it. Just make sure that it's working. So in there goes the acetate. So you might have to have a little search around and find the acetate with the snowflake. Acetate goes in bronze medal goes on the top. You might find that people have undone these for the photograph, so just put a little single knot back in if you do. Shut it, just make sure that's not going to come back out. This goes back in the book. I like to kind of arrange them just so that they look nice on the shelf like so. So what would be next? Next would be, well, this, as you're here, can go back in the drawer. As well over here. This quite often gets left over here, the UV light, because it's been used in the cupboard. So we'll take that over now, and that gets hung just on the end of here. While we're over here, take out the paper. You'll see in the pot, crumple this up, because that obviously has the clues on. Get yourself a new piece of paper. It just goes in the back there, turned, turn, turn, and then caught under there. I mean, it might actually be a good plan, to be honest, before you take out that one, just to test that no one's pulled this strip off and it isn't on the white setting. If that happens, you want it set on the black or the red. It's fine, just not on the white. So just make sure no one's tampered with that. If you find any of the keys are stuck, you just gently put them back down again, so we know that that's working. And we'll just reset that with a new one. Put it through, send it over to the right. Sorted. Lamp should be on, but with this visible so that they know that they can turn it off. Make sure these are all in. The pins haven't been taken out. While we're over here, we have this. Now, sometimes they'll have closed the lock. They're safe. Again, the code is on your paperwork. If not, we'll put this in. I may get a ribbon that we tie around this, just to make it look a bit nicer. Pop it in there like that, so that it's easy to see. I don't know what that's in there. Shut the case, twist it, make sure it ain't coming open. Okay, that's all done. This is all done. You probably find that actually this will be somewhere around. So this can be hung back up on the hook here. While we're thinking about the bellows, we'll do the log burner. Use our pokey stick. Put the key in first. Give it a little pokey poke. Ball in next. Just give it a little pokey poke. Also, while we're on the log burner, we'll open it up. Just watch yourself in the screws. I think we're going to have to put something on there. Make sure your 57 is still in the bottom. Just cover, fill them back up with lugs. Key for this I've just put away. Obviously you need a key for that to get it out, to lock it up. Yeah, this first. Okay, there we go. Pokey stick. Key back in. Try not to get your stick lost in it. Make sure that's closed. This will be turned upright when it's locked. That goes back on there. While we're doing pokey stick things, let's do the ball that goes back into here. So, pokey loading stick, ball. Put your ball on the top. You'll feel there's a gap behind, and then you'll feel the pipe at the front. So the ball goes into the pipe, up, and you'll hear a little, and you'll feel the little bit of plastic when it's sitting inside. And that's good to go. And just make sure that this is down, in case it's been stuck at the top, just so that it looks nice. Done with this. So, as we're here, chest is underneath. That's where the hairdryer goes out of the plug. I like to set it at 2 before it's plugged in, just because if people do it with 1, they might move away before it's done anything. So we'll close that up, just make sure nothing's behind it. Put that in and scramble. And if you really want, we can check it 6572. So we'll just try 6572, purely because this is a really, really easy to reset lock. We just want to make sure. It's really embarrassing if in the game you find out that someone's reset your lock. So that's good. Now, over to here. The cassette will probably still be in the cassette player, so we'll do a stop and we'll rewind it. Give it a little check.
Hi Freddie, this is your coach.
So if you had English game next, you want English at the top and rewind it all the way back. Stop, eject. If you have a French game next, obviously turn your tape over, put it into French, rewind it, stop it, take it out, so that it's set at the start of one side or the other side. I have an English game next, so I'm going to leave it. I'm going to make sure that English is rewound all the way back, which it is. Stop, eject. This goes into here. I mean, obviously, if you're not sure of who's going to be next, just make a note of which way round you've done it, whether it's set up for English, and just leave a little note on the desk that English is set up next. Okay, tape player goes at the bottom. Now just make sure that this lock is going to be locking with the line at the front. So however you put it through, it needs to have lock at the front. This one also needs to have CETLN before it will close fully. Make sure you scramble everyone. Okay. I'm going to hide the tape under the paper. Close it up. And again, we're just going to check this lock. It's another scramblable lock. It's down as the dot chest. So it's not a 395 is this. So I'm just going to put it down at 395. Scramble it a little bit. Take it back. And we're good. So that goes in as well. Again, with the white lines at the front. Don't forget to scramble and check it's locked. This is your date lock for on here. If you've got to this point, don't forget that your ski locker card is what went with this. And that went in there. So ski locker card, make sure that's in there. We'll just test this again, just because 27th of April 84. Turn it around, turn it back, good. Scramble, 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 make sure it's locked. Now this has to come out of the room. You also, finishing touches, you just want to make sure that that's cleared. Make sure your rugs are nice and flat. Your lamp is on. And just make sure that they've not pulled anything out of here. And that everything's looking really nice. Grab your reset box. Fish comes out. Make sure you've still got your marble. Fish comes out, hide the key behind. And it's going to be over there, so it's just in reach. Okay? Now, in here, in your reset box, you have this key that says cabin door. Point and close the door up. Just make sure that's shut. That's done. At this point, as I'm holding this, before I forget to do anything with it or put it down, I'm going to get our little stool. Be super careful, make sure it's sturdy. And then we're going to tip this up and just put the marble behind. So the marble is here, and that would drop, push and drop out. Just make sure there's nothing else in there, make sure there's none of these snowballs that people have thrown and got wedged in there or anything like that. That can come out of the way now. Right, so we'll start where we finished. Make sure your notes are still here. This code for the door is 751. So I'm just going to lock it down. You can see it's left on 751 anyway, which is a good sign. Take it back, 751 works. That goes across and up, making sure it's locked in through the one that is obviously holding this up. Push down, scramble, check it's locked. All good, doors done. So, postcards, make sure they're both there, make sure that the stamps are still on. Stand them upright, close, lock that. Now this key goes in the bird box, but we want to try and kind of get it towards the back because it's a bit easier to grab. So just give it a little shove. So that's in. That would then lead us to this, which goes, it hooks at the screwdriver handle end there, and then sticks on here. You may need to turn it over before you hook it. See the hooks here? Screwdriver heads there. I like to make sure that people can, it's magnetic against this end, so you want it against the metal piece, but I like to make sure that people can kind of see the feather as a little clue, so put it wherever you think works nicely. Now we'll put some sticks underneath so that they think about turning it up. Some sticks on the top, and at the same time as that we can come over here, take these out, make sure they're jumbled, maybe stick one or two under there, one or two on the top, just make them look kind of nice and cover up the numbers if you can a little bit. Okay, so that's done. If you're missing anything, it could be under the rug as well, so say if you're missing these, sometimes people pull this out. This goes into the box, as does the magnet from the end of the fishing rod. So that comes out, goes in the box, close the box up, the box goes in the bag. Bag gets pulled over as far as possible. These are the two links. Now we want this to be facing on the front. So we're just going to check the number on this, which I know is 8634. Push the side so we know it works. Now I like to kind of set it about like this. Push it round and through and then into the hole here, and you really got to feel it click and go in, and then give it a test by just using this one, but it isn't going to come out any further, and then you can scramble. Now the deer head as it's here, we're back on the door. Also probably a good idea to have this door closed just in case anybody comes down and you're not quite finished. That way you can just stick your head out, say, be with you in 2 seconds, and they're not getting a preview of the room. I just took it in like this so that it just looks a little bit nicer instead of just hanging down like that. Took it over the ears, sorted. Fishing rod goes up here. This is the number lock. check out which way the numbers are facing upright. So you see they're all in line here. And then we want to make sure that the lock is left hanging like that. So it goes, sorry, I lie. You want to be able to lift it up and see. So the best way to do it is to line them up and go upwards and clip in. That way when people are looking at it, it lifts up this way. So this is the right code, 5247. I'm going to scramble that. Just going to check that code. 5247, yeah. Scramble that, make sure it's locked. Done. Next, what have we got next? So the screen should be on. It's turned off at the minute, purely because I've just restarted the computer. In your reset box, it really shouldn't be off. If it's off, there's a problem with your computer, and we'll look at the other video for that. One press, wait for a minute, and it will come on, and you'll know that it's on because the light comes on like this. That's how you know that it's on, and you'll see that through the little gaps as well. So I'll keep that in the box. Now the code for this is 2584, yeah, so that's right, we know 2584, and it's right. We should check it off before you put it on, because once it's on, it's on. So 2584, we're done. Make sure the flowers are in, make sure the plant with the code on the bottom is on the right, because that's part of the clues. Now we're missing the receipt, which possibly means they've put it back in already, which they have. You may from time to time, if they've ripped this, there's a spare in the spares drawer when you're sitting at the desk on the left hand side in the middle drawer. Make sure that's in the coat pocket. So they're done, they're done. Lights should be on. If you find that the lights have gone out for any reason, like this, you just open this little cupboard up by pushing it, red button on the big, and that's lights on. That's how they should be on when a game is in use. And then we'll just make sure that the socks look nice. Sometimes people prop this up and this is down. Make sure that's down. We'll take off the skis. Just make sure no one's peeled any of the stickers off. The A, B, C, D is still there. The 4 pictures are still there. These are all still on okay. And these are all still on okay at the bottom. And then we take them off and then we lean them so that you can't see the pictures. And that is the room reset, other than us clearing out. You may want to, at this point as well, make sure that the monitors are on. They're not at the moment because I've just reset the computer. But that should be a blank, snowing screen. This is going to have a symbol on once I've finished resetting today. At this point, if people have scratched that off, you can go into either the spare drawers out here or the spares box over there. Take your Neige de Noël and hold it really close. Don't worry if you get it everywhere. I did myself obviously, because snowy carpet is absolutely fine. I'm just going to turn that back around, make sure that is also on there. And then all that we've left to do is gather up the snowballs, put them back in the chest out here. Ready for the next people. And then the last thing, depending on how many you've done today, give the room a bit of a sniff. If it doesn't smell piney, get some of the pine smell stuff, or it may be a spritzer, whatever we're using at the time. Just give it a couple of all around the room, especially so around the door here, because it's the first smell they'll get as they come in. And that is done, so out we go. Make sure you have everything. Most importantly, this with all the clears on, because that would be the easiest game ever. And then coming out, and close the door behind you. Obviously, as you as you come out, just have a little last survey of everything. Make sure no one's dropped anything on the floor. If it needs a hoover and you've got time in between your two bookings, please give it a quick hoover. Don't worry so much about the snow, but things like mud and leaves off people's shoes could do with coming up really. Just make sure that no one's damaged anything, and we're all good to go. And that is that, and then you put your pot back on your